Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of The 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Corvair. This story will stream live around 6 p.m. on Sundays here on Javelin Entertainment, and if you happen to miss the last session, you really shouldn't have. But if you did, go check it out on the channel page or by clicking the link down in the description, because that shit was fire. We're gonna go ahead and get things kicked off here.
When we last saw our heroes, they had climactically come back face to face with Boko in a newly formed body. It took them some time to try to piece together seeing their friend despite also having his metal skeleton in the bag. Even after explanation, there were many questions left unanswered. And so they took to searching the remains of this laboratory. Boko retrieved notes and journals written by Zobek. Rhea handed over the set of notes she acquired on the cleaner, and Roland discovered a strange starmetal hammer floating in a glass case. Boko revealed to everyone Zero's demented pursuit of perfection, and that this is likely not the end. He tried to apologize for getting them involved, but their friends, most of all by Renny, encouraged him that they were just glad to have him back. Jasira then approached him to have a heart-to-heart moment and presented him with a sweater that she had knitted, when suddenly they disappeared, having stepped through some kind of strange portal. Inside, the group discovered an even stranger place made of dark-colored angular walls that seemed to be pulsing with life. Inside was another strange laboratory that included an incapacitated elder brain. Somehow there was an infusion of the brine from the elder brain with diluted energy from the synthetic starshards, with some sort of amplification or balance of psionic energy. Following the pipes carrying the energy, they discovered a chamber filled with 13 sleeping pods, each containing a young Cyran child. It quickly dawned on them that these were Boko and his 12 siblings, and they found Boko's human form to confirm this. Strangely, it appeared that each of these pods had a label of Boko themselves, an unknown term, and the distinguishing piece was a strange arcane numbering, Boko Kana standing for Boko 13. Boko wanted to capture this information and set everyone to sketching the scene, but Roland knew that they likely wouldn't get a chance to come back, and he couldn't live with keeping these weapons in their current state. Despite the risks and implications, he used the hammer to smash through the arcane shields of the pods. However, with Theschault's assistance and healing from other members of the group, they attempted to save the children, only losing 4 before they finally got to Boko. Boko pulled them aside and asked to first have the synthetic core in his chest replaced with the Starshard. In a miracle of skill, magic, and luck, Roland was able to complete the surgical swap, leaving the warforged version of Boko comatose but undamaged. With a final look to Theschault, they set towards his human form, and with just enough luck, managed to keep him from crossing to the other side.
Now, as we return, our heroes still had to make it out alive from the Mournland, and though they faced many harrowing horrors on their way back, they did arrive in Carlacton once more. Boko even regained consciousness along the way. Not long after they arrived, Greystorm and Bungo bid them a fond farewell to head back to the Tower of the 12 in Korth and make the report, and a bid for a more extensive expedition into the Mournland. The Hospice of St. Lopson was able to make some accommodations for the children, all of which were still suffering in various states of comatose, and they immediately set about reviewing the notes on the cleanrot for a cure. Now, only a couple of days had passed before the city was suddenly set upon by the autumn equinox, and the festivities related to that event were enough to brighten up most everyone's spirits. The event started with the Artisans' Twilight Fair, a marketplace where artificers, enchanters, and alchemists showcased their most refined and experimental works. Magic-infused paintings shifted with the viewer's mood, clockwork creatures performed delicate ballet routines, and rare autumn-themed magical items like equinox candles that burned with seasonal scents and granted minor boons were sold. The Unity Concords were a citywide tradition where rival guilds, noble houses, and factions would publicly declare truces for the season, signing agreements on magically inscribed scrolls that dissolved into golden leaves upon completion. Those who would break their word before the season ends are said to be cursed with ill luck until the next equinox. And while it's mostly ceremonial these days, there are some shadowy corners where true underground alliances are forged. Then there was the living tapestry performances, a massive theatrical set of performances where illusionists and actors told legendary stories woven through light and magic, making it seem as though the entire city is part of the play. Streets became moving stage sets, and enchanted threads in the sky wove images that changed with the tales. Normally, there would have been some sort of celestial unveiling, a grand exhibition in the House of Inspired Hands where scholars and mages would have unveiled their new artifice and inventions, but those had been cancelled due to the quarantine. The festivities ended with the Amber Procession, a city-wide parade where automatons sculpted like autumn creatures, golden stags, clockwork owls, and leafy golems danced their way through the streets, accompanied by musicians playing instruments that glow with the fading sunlight. The final float carried a massive artificial sun that dimmed as soon as the equinox ends, symbolizing balance and transition. Clyde was enjoying the revelry. The past few days that he spent in Carlacton have been enjoyable. Back to civilization, back to calm. He had asked Greystorm before he left about his arm, and Greystorm said that he would see if he could connect him to the chair of cosmology, who would be the premier expert on strange occult or otherworldly effects like his arm. He had sent a few messages through the Couriers Guild and made a handful of tweaks to his moonstill based on the information he had learned in the Mournland. Rhea was really just relieved to be leaving. She thought it would be an exciting adventure, but found the Mournland quite terrifying. She's been resting and enjoying her sense of normalcy that has returned being back in her hometown, or home city. Roland has been seen few and far between, really only for meals, as he's been deep in research at the Grand Library. Searching through his information about Sire's research into energy sources like the Stormwell, combing through all of his notes that he took about the 12 in the tomb where he found the Starshard, information he learned in the library of the strange sunlit Cyran town about news during the last war, copied information from the Starlight Citadel scientists, notes from Zero or Zobek's laboratory, and sketches from the strange place through the portal in the demiplane. He had been rarely seen in these times, but not trying to make himself too scarce. Theschault, in the meantime, was still deep in thought on what he saw. He wanted to respect the wishes of the party, to hold on to the information that was found in the Mournland, and so chose not to reach out to anyone from the Academy just yet. He tried to dull these thoughts by working away on improvements to his hydromechanical suit. He began to increase the size of this suit, working on something much more grandiose. A left arm built with a deployable hydro blade cut into place. The right arm built bulkier with extra plating around the fist that can be detached from the arm. Both shoulders have extendable plating and intake valves that can suppress negative environmental effects. This suit considerably larger than the previous one and nearing completion. Jasira had tried to busy herself helping others, but she couldn't help her thoughts drifting to some of the loose threads. The last time she had really thought about Tove, Boko had called out to the spirits, and none other than Kogi the priest had discussed with her directly. Jasira had asked about Tove, and though he was reluctant to answer, he said that he did sense trails of Jasira's companion, that her soul still lived on, but was suffering. Jasira also found herself thinking about the other threads, some sort of ties between Galrath and the Gilded Man and what they might mean. On the way back from the Mournland, Boko had made a stop. A place he had been intending to arrive at all along, but now with a much different purpose. he left the remains of that hut burning down in cinders. And when he returned with the others to Carlacton, he found a strangeness in his body. The starshard in his chest worked well enough for keeping his constructed nature moving. But now with this tie to this strange humanoid form, it still felt like he didn't align with any particular one and rather drifted between the two. He's been helping out at the hospice, researching the clean rot and working to synthesize a cure. Unfortunately, this disease doesn't seem to have a cure, and these notes more list something of a disinfectant, enough to clear the quarantine zone and to prevent any more lockdown. But the only satisfied way of helping those who have been infected is to turn them into creatures like himself. He's gone through different surgical implants to replace the soul canister and the razor leg. The arm and leg are much more mechanical than organic, before where they were woven in with vines and trees, natural materials. This is mostly machine, but alive. Cables like sinew that course and wrap themselves around the leg, concealing it when not needed. Small pipes that pulse with life, joint mechanisms that pivot and rotate, but also flex in a very humanoid manner. For a city of artifice and warforged, few pay much attention to these differences. But when they do, he's gotten many widely ranging interactions. From those who immediately dismiss him as a construct, to those who are marveling at the lifelike replication of organic material across his face. It's been a challenging time, and he's found himself wandering, and yet there is always a call. Boko, you're unsure exactly of how far away you can be right now from your other half and still be functional. You've instead turned towards wandering through the quarantine zone, helping with those of the hospice to clean out much of the infection and trying to find those who remain. There's not many left, and the scene is grim, but it's work that you desire to be a part of. We come back to our group in a quiet night in the Seventh Eye, their small little magical pawn shop on Troll Skull Alley. Renny is playing a few tunes across his concertina, thumbing across some lines for a song.
Maybe that does rhyme. Maybe that works. Huh. And you hear him start to play some notes again and sit there, thumb, no, that can't be it. Wait a minute. And with a heart full of might, and his legacy shines an eternal light. Ha-ha! And he darts off into the street.
As you all are here this quiet evening, the Seventh Eye has been open, but hasn't really established much business. Rocky, the bugbear, has been trying to keep the shelves stocked, but it's mostly basic goods that are gotten secondhand. Ringo, the goblin, maintains the storefront and runs the counter, but she's not the easiest to discuss and talk with and make a bargain. So profits have yet to really kick off. Jasira is off in a corner working on some of her cantrip-infused knitting. Clyde, you're placing a few more knickknacks from Kobold or Go Home's magical mystery coin machine onto some empty shelves. And you all are here for a moment before you go back off to your various tasks, your various work. You all have made sure to take some time to connect and to support each other after the intense encounters of the past, what has really only been a couple weeks. What would you all like to do?
Clyde's making moonshine.
Is Roland here or is he at the Grand Library?
For right now, everyone is here. You guys have just finished up an evening meal. You guys are kind of looking over the state of your newish store, and
new to us.
taking stock. Yes.
Yeah. And Clyde will take some of the items he's got from Kobold or Go Home, like the hat of magic detection, the ring of dispelling, the beats by Drow, the mysterious glass vial of gray
Beats
fluid.
by Drow.
And then is going to have I'm sorry, who was the front?
Ringo is the goblin who works the front, and Rocky is the bugbear who kind of does the stocky.
Right. He's going to give Ringo the big frying bam pan so that she can be making savory delights at all times to lure in customers.
Free samples do wonders.
It's perfectly seasoned every time, whatever it is.
It's the best part of going to Sam's Club.
She kind of looks at you. She's kind of a smallish goblin, kind of a short gray pixie cut, a few golden earrings in her ears, and just kind of has a pipe that she's puffing upon. Yeah, I think I saw a few rats in the back that we could probably cook up real easy.
As long as you
Okay.
make a profit with them.
No promises.
And then Clyde will also pull out the small dragon bones and skull, because we were going to put that right above the counter on the wall.
Yes. Yes.
Here, and I'll mark these down and we can have them in the shop. I can remove them from my thing.
Perfect.
Yep.
You want to put it in party loot? Like put a section in party loot that's like things on display in the shop.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Here, hold on. I can, is there...
Where
Yeah,
do we
that'll
have- I don't-
Actually, let me just add a new handout that everybody can edit. Okay.
Is this for stuff that's for sale or is this just for showing off?
This is. I can header it stuff for sale, stuff that is stuff that gives a bonus to the ambiance of the shop.
I mean, if
Alright.
we have some really cool shit in here, I think people would want to come see it.
Yeah. Like, bring them in for just the sightseeing and then sell them something that is not the stuff to look at. It's like the when you go to the arcade and you go to the prize room, they got the really cool shit that no one has ever been able to redeem up on the top shelf.
It has roasted rats, just like I remember.
Yeah.
Do we have a bunch of shadow boxes I can put all my shirts in?
Are they made of actual shadows?
Do we have? Did I ever get the head off of that thing?
Yeah, it just took forever.
Okay, yeah, that thing is getting like fucking mounted in a case behind the counter, just
On a
like
spike.
yeah, just like staring at like whoever's at the register. Like, don't you fucking think about it?
Eventually, I'll tinker with it so it actually serves as some sort of anti-theft device.
a hand reaches over the counter and then the eyes light up and turn red.
Gonna give us all PTSD every time we come to the shop.
Oh.
Well,
Boko's gonna try to find Roland, and hopefully.
this
Theschault as
probably
well.
would have came up last session. So, did Boko ever ask for his old corpse back?
Absolutely.
We can put that on
Boko had,
display.
Boko had to salvage the pieces off of it. The
Okay.
soul canister and the razor leg.
Because if that didn't happen, Clyde was going to go bury that somewhere. He told Boko, the Boko that died in that body, that he'd bury him outside of that fucking place.
Yes, the next 15 or so of Boko's chimeras are all going to be slightly Boko flavored.
Slightly
Boko
Boko flavored.
Oh, reduce.
It requires instead of like 15 gold or whatever, it requires 1 pound of organic material. Waste not, want not. That's all I have to say.
I
I'm gonna put
wish
the
I caught
Selekian
a
mustache
screenshot
on
of you going.
display.
It's on recording.
That is fair. That is fair. Let me go back over here to the video. There it is.
Yeah, Boko will approach Roland and Theschault and bring up his concerns. He'll say, I have been discovering the new bounds of this body. And while it is very strong, I find it difficult to put distance between myself and my human counterpart.
That makes sense.
I do not know what this means for any kind of journey outside of the city. Perhaps this is something we could find within the library. Information about something like this.
Are you willing to look?
I will travel with you. We will put the bounds of this body to the test.
For science.
For science. And Boko will plant the seeds, hopefully trying to figure out what's going on here. So in our shop, I can reach the hospice, right?
What do you mean you can read? Like your range?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so your body is in the hospice with the other children. All of them are still kind of in various states of comatose. And you know that you've been able to walk basically to the edge of the city, at least before you start to feel that like desire to come back. You know you could go further. So you know it's at least a city distance. It's probably much more than that, but that's where you started to feel it and where you knew that you needed to do more work to determine the nature of this.
Gotcha. I also love that you're using the Skyrim map icons for the city. Makes me very happy.
I noticed that.
They're
looking
such
at
good
it here, and I
icons.
did.
And then Boko will also tell Roland, and once our eyes get tired from reading, perhaps you would care to join me to going into the quarantine zone. Boko smiles at him.
What? Has it actually been sanitized?
I do not believe so, but perhaps we can talk to the hospice about covering you in the... whatever it was they had covered me in.
We can talk. What is it that you're going to touch this time?
There are still many people in the quarantine zone. And I still would like to find out how this new arcane core interacts with them.
Makes sense. So, to the library.
As the two of you go to excuse yourselves for the evening to another late night of study, possibly wandering, as you open the door, you see standing there about ready to knock is none other than Alistair Clegane, the chief priest from the hospice. Kind of looks at you with a bit of an alarm. Oh, were you headed out? I was just coming by after my day's work. I thought you might want to know that one of the children is awake.
Which one?
Tisa, the young girl. She's only minimally responsive at the moment, but it bodes well for the others.
Well, it's very well. We were actually planning to stop by and say hello to you, so this is fortuitous.
Indeed. I also had one other update. Like I said, when you all embarked out upon this, is the city will be thankful. The quarantine zone is, well, it's nearly disinfected, and we're trying to determine the best way to get all of the individuals to the hospice without overloading our facilities. But once that's accomplished, that portion of the city will be open again. And the city will be ever in your debt, if it is not already. I have perhaps done something a bit forward without asking, but I wanted you all to have the proper acknowledgement. And so at the upcoming Ascendance festivities, they're going to announce you all. Thank you for your service to the city. I know you all are, well, it was unclear how extensively you knew each other based on the events of your abduction, but it seems that you all have still stuck through this together. If you are intending to continue on with work and adventures, the city could certainly use you, but it would help your marketability to have some sort of name, like all good adventuring groups do, and it would certainly help with the announcement. You've still got a few days. It's not till the 1st of Barocus, but, well, I suppose that's only the day after tomorrow now. So, good luck.
Roland is going to look up at the name over the top of the shop.
The seventh eye.
You said you all were coming to see me. Was there something that you needed?
Boko was wanting to go into the quarantine zone, and, I would need some of the protections that you had previously provided before encountering that risk.
Well, if you wait until tomorrow afternoon, you should be able to go in without any protections. If there's something urgent, you can go and check out one of the suits at St. Lobson, and as long as you're willing to help in the rituals for the disinfectant, then they should have no issue with your passing through. You might be a little bit, they might have some routes that they want you to move through, but other than that, your time should be free enough to get where you need to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was concerned that no one was going to make it out of that place and that it might get a lot worse. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but you all saved a lot of lives.
Nice change.
Is there anything else you need before I depart? I'm anxious to get home. Long days and all that.
Thank you.
We'll come by tomorrow afternoon then, and check in on the child.
He gives a nod and shakes both of your hands before making his way off into the streets.
Roland, one is alive. And awake.
Yes.
Well done.
His hand kind of comes down and rests on the hammer still at his belt, and there's almost a like a hot stove moment of like touching it, and then we made a difference for at least one.
I have yet to keel over, so perhaps 13 is doing well as well.
Let's be honest though, Boko. Keeling over is something you are exceptionally talented at.
I was going to compliment you on your surgical skills and suggest you get a job at the hospice. Unfortunately. Come.
I don't think that I could do that every day.
I also don't think that you could do it every day.
Man, Boko came back with the sass.
I think can we retrograde that particular upgrade? Like,
Upgrade?
take that one back to Windows 98, please.
Oh, I love it.
Come, let us go to the library.
The two of you head down through one of the, well, like the high road, the kind of main street, through cutting through vertically the city. And without much time, make it to the Grand Library. In the meantime, this evening, for the rest of you, we'll kind of step through and see if there's any other business that you have this evening. We'll start with Clyde. Clyde, you had been mixing some moonshine, stocking some shelves, talking with Boko and Roland, and suddenly they're gone. And again, of course, they've gone back to the library.
Has too many books. Clyde will get the rope that he keeps every time they go to the library. Clyde gets a piece of some rope and he puts it by the door so they see it when they get back.
I still have in my inventory, because if I remember correctly, someone did something cheeky, that I have 49 feet of rope.
I love it.
But Clyde's gonna be making moonshine, lining that.
Yeah, Clyde, go ahead and roll me 1d6.
Okay.
There's gonna be a party. Clyde wants to make sure he has enough moonshine.
3.
So you've managed, after adjusting the still over these past few days, you've managed to get 3 completed bottles or uses of 12 moonshine. And go ahead and roll those 3d4 for me.
Absolutely.
and then you can add whichever ones
No.
are applicable.
Hey.
One of each.
Yep.
Right? Or one of 3.
Sweet. Yeah. Sweet.
Please tell me that you now have a Stormwell still, and so we're getting a lightning infused shine.
No, but they are. The ones I got are pretty good. That was a 2, 3, and a 4. Yeah.
Yep.
Advantage on insights, not bad. Advantage on cons, not bad. And 44 on top of 2d4 plus 4 ain't bad.
The whoda, whata, where to now to whata.
The healing
Don't worry.
went from 2d4 plus 4 to 64 plus 4
Okay.
on one of them.
For
I
one
got
of
you.
them. And each different vial is glowing a different amount. All right, I'll put those in here.
So for Rhea, you've been relaxing, enjoying the festivities and the pleasantries of home. Is there anything that you're doing this evening?
She'll just sort of enjoy the company of other people and not being afraid of what's happening next. So she's happy. She's having a good time. She's enjoying it and just taking it in and being appreciative.
Wonderful. And Jasira, you've been kind of knitting off in the corner, listening to the chatter of your friends. Is there anything else you'd like to do in this evening?
Well, currently I'm trying to look through cantrips so I can see what might be the next cantrip she's putting into the current works. But I think she's gonna kind of just keep to herself for tonight.
Okay.
And start fresh in the morning on the search for who can help her find Tove.
Consider this. That helmet, or that head that's mounted behind the counter. We should knit it a hat with vicious mockery in it.
There you go.
Does the hat go on
Or
the
a scarf.
inside so it's still a head, or
So-
like does it just sit on top of the Titan head?
Or a scarf.
So my current thought would
Around
be
the spike.
thaumaturgy. Sounds kind of dope too.
A scarf with
know.
thaumaturgy would be cool. Like just wrap the scarf around your neck and then project.
Terrifying.
Get your asses into the seventh eye.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I love it.
There you go. Canon. That's what she's doing. Let's go.
And then
Let's
if that's
make a
the
scarf.
adventuring group name, people don't know if it's sexy or merchandise.
That's even
No, no.
better.
For the store, it's get your ass into the seventh eye. For the venturing name, it's get the seventh eye into your ass.
Oh my goodness.
I like that we're not
All
gender
right, I caught the
specific.
end of that, but we're gonna have to make that into an acronym.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
But
And-
there you go.
And then with a new line unlocked, Renny, you had raced out into the streets. Did you have any other business this evening?
I am off to go cause bad ideas and mayhem. I am finding the nearest tavern.
Wonderful. And there is much drinking and festivities. This portion of the year is one of the most popular for people traveling into the city, for people sharing stories and being out late drinking. Usually most of the people take like the week or so between the equinox and the ascendance as like a full week-long holiday, and many people take off work. They'll kind of set up special parties and occasions, and it's just been festivities everywhere, fireworks every night. It's been beautiful chaos.
Excellent. I will start to work my magic, going tavern to tavern and seeing if I can get this to catch on.
I love it. For Boko and Roland, you two make it to the Grand Library, this massive center for learning. It's got 2 full wings off the main branch. The main branch itself is 4 stories high. It's got a tower that goes an additional story with a large glass window that just shines all of these colors. It's one massive reading room. There are all sorts of records and books and pieces, as well as archivists to help you with any sort of need as far as research and learning. The biggest time is time to actually move through all of the material. Tonight, you all are looking for what in particular?
I am definitely looking for phenomena surrounding this.
Da, 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 da. Sorry.
This decline of power over distance. And I might build myself an antenna or something if I can find some schematics or
your third arm turns into a bling.
And also
It's hair. It's one thing. Hair straight up.
I have 2 arcane cores with me, so I could potentially channel those, or not with me, but at the 7th eye.
And Roland, what are you looking for?
I was going to. Boko had asked for help with looking into that, so I was going to help him with that tonight. Otherwise, it would just be ongoing work. I imagine I could branch fairly well into research on the arcane cores, given the research I've already been doing on the temple with the Starshard.
Yeah. So Boko, go ahead and give me a history check here, and we'll have Roland. You can make the history check at another history check at advantage.
Excellent. I'll give myself some guidance as I go through the books.
Whenever Roland licks his finger to turn the page, he's giving himself guidance.
Yeah.
Guidance. Guidance. Roland 6 seconds a page.
Ooh, that was low. That was a 6 and a 2 for a total of 19.
Tonight, Tonight the library is fairly quiet. Again, the festivities are in full swing, and most people go home early if they come to work at all. And few people are found here. There's some from the university. There's some who always prefer the comfort of a book in a quiet reading nook. But for the most part, it's quiet for you all, but not as helpful as it normally is, and the research goes by slowly. Boko, you find pieces. There's, just to the nature of what you are, that there's not going to be much, but you might be able to find the various components and piece together a solution. And so you focus on that what they were trying to do is manifest some sort of psionic energy, and so you look into anything about the ranges of psionics that are known. You start to find what creatures even have psionics, and most of them are known to be different strange alien or aberrant creatures, the most notable being the Mind Flayer. And they talk about kind of a radial mind blast that can go up to 60 feet, and they also talk about some sort of shared hive mind that the Mind Flayers have that can connect out to... Oh, very nice. That can connect out over miles. But it's all driven by this elder brain. If they were using something similar, that your range has got to be something less than these miles. When we're talking miles that the Elder Brain can cover, it's more than a country's worth. These mind flayers can go across the continent, but have to have the Elder Brain to extend that range. So without this Elder Brain now powering this connection between you and the human body, you know that it's likely something less than that. But between the walls of the city and the edges of the country, you're not sure where that actual boundary lies just yet. I will say, if you would like to apply that, it kind of will shift a little bit what the nature of the information is. And so for you, Roland, as you're looking through books, you have been deeply entrenched in information about Warforged and Sire and the Last War, trying to trace all of your different notes and books to all of the information that you can find within the library. And you've found different pieces of Zobek's notes that seem to be talking about Boko, or at least some sort of Warforged that he was working on. There's an excerpt about the evolution of Warforged and something he calls the living core. And in this section, there's a spot that talks about what is consciousness but the culmination of thought, experience, and will. My latest prototypes show promise. By binding not just arcane matrices, but threads of psionic resonance within their cores, I am close. So close to giving them true sentience. Not just programming, not just rudimentary awareness, but choice. And here, in these notes, you see a word that you're not familiar with, but seems to be the same type of thing as the numbers or the words that you had seen on the sleeping pods. It mentions Halim. And it says, and let me get the correct one here. It says Halim Ithnan, which is one of the names. Ithnan is one of the words, I guess, associated with one of the children. But Halim Ithnan is what is referenced. And he says, Halim Ithnan spoke today. Not in words, but through the weave. It projected thoughts without my prompting. It asked me why it was awake. Gods above and below, have I succeeded? Or have I simply birthed another horror? I don't know which answer I fear more. But that's what you guys get for this evening. Hold on, let me try that again. Sorry, I'm trying to copy that into the chat for you guys. There we go.
As Boko and Roland are walking back home in the darkness, Boko is just going to look to Roland and go, "It has been a peaceful couple of days since our return. How long do you think that will last?"
How long do you think you can keep from touching everything?
That is not fair. You know the answer as well as I do. Roland. May I see your weapon?
You're going to have to be more specific.
The one that you can never hit anything with.
Oh, drop your pants, Roland.
Whoa, hey, hold on.
Wait. Perhaps I should be even more specific. The one on your back.
Oh, that's good.
He'll reach back begrudgingly and be like, you know, as soon as you died, I killed everything in sight.
Boko does his best to raise one eyebrow in a very skeptical look, but will take Roland's weapon, and on the way back home, he's going to do his best to sort of study and familiarize himself with it before giving it back to him when we reach the seventh eye.
Okay.
The last time I handed that to a different artificer, it stopped hitting things.
Hold on. You have hit plenty with my augmentation, thank you.
But hey, you never have to reload.
Yeah, exactly.
I can miss.
You can miss as many times as you need to.
Yes.
I can miss faster.
We're going for efficiency.
I love it. The two of you eventually make your ways back to Troll Skull Alley into the Seventh Eye, where you settle in. The night
You
is...
smell the delicious remnants of rat.
The night is peaceful, and as each of you go to your rest, Boko, you in particular have gotten very comfortable with these dreamless, stasis-like rest. There is some bit of purity in your form now that you had lacked for a long time, or maybe never had. And it brings you a peace and an ease. The night goes by, everyone about as happy as they can remember, and hoping to hold on to that for as long as they can.
One of the things as we're walking back through the gathering twilight, there's a shadowy cat that's been following Roland around, and Roland will cast a dancing lights of another matching kitten that for it to play with as they walk back. And so you see a cat made of light and a cat made of shadow chasing each other around the streets around them.
I love that. All right. The dawn finally rises in the next day in the city of splendors, the city of artifice, the metropolis. Carlacton is many names, many things, but it is endless possibility. With the day at hand, what would you all like to do?
Ooh.
Let's go. It's gonna come out wrong no matter how I say it. Let's go talk to a kid.
Okay.
Is it just Boko and Roland heading off on this one, or does anyone else want to tag along and join?
Come, join us.
Clyde'll go with. He dumped off all the stuff he doesn't want off into the shop.
I suppose if those two are going, I should probably go too.
And Jasira will go because she will need to pick their brains for what she would like to do later.
Yeah, we'll say you all kind of head in, hearing that one of the kids is awake. It kind of sparks this even more excitement to kind of cap off this happiness that you're feeling. And you all wander. It's not not a terribly long journey, about twice the distance as it was to the Grand Library, but still make it relatively quickly. And inside the hospice, it is a whir of activity now that the day is up. Already all of the kind of what used to seem like big burly guards, most of them are gone. They're all out in the city working through the rituals. There's only a single one kind of at the doorway, again ensuring that nobody gets into this place that deals constantly with highly infectious diseases. But the hospice itself has 3 main wings. An entire wing is devoted to where these children are currently stored. And you also see that kind of nearby as you're moving into this wing, you see Miss Sunsu, one of the nurses that works there, who's kind of off in kind of a side chamber, and she's still kind of working and researching on the prosthetic arm that Boko had given so a couple weeks ago now, kind of trying to see what insights that she can get about this disease in a decontaminated environment. But you continue on to this set where there are 9 beds kind of arranged in this in a handful of rooms.
Boko, as they pass by the room with Sensu, he's just gonna pop his head in and he's gonna say, you may keep that one. I have 3 others. And he's gonna pull out all 3 iterations of the arm that materialized from the fucking moorlands.
I think I still got one of his other ones in my bag, too.
If, of course, you need another one, Miss Sansu.
I will be sure to let you know. Thank you. And she just kind of smiles, shocked and unsure of how to totally process that. But she's... At this point, Boko, you've made regular trips to the hospice. And the people here have started to know and hear your story and the rumors of who and what you are, and have seen your new form, and so the shock value is dulled a little bit by the repeated just astonishing that your mere presence has. But eventually
So they know to lock their shirts down when Boko's in the building.
There is an alarm.
Code Boko. Everyone tuck your shirts in.
Code Boko.
You guys eventually move to the 7th bed in this arrangement. A small girl, like 6 or 7 years old, short shoulder length hair, and these. She used to have these deep circles around her eyes. They've started to kind of relax a little bit, and you can see the color starting to come back into her face. You can see these kind of bright green eyes now that you hadn't noticed before when they were closed, and she seems awake and alert. She kind of looks at the people coming in.
I would like to whisper to our team before we walk in that we should ask her something that only Boko would know. Just on a hunch. Like, if they're all, like, really the same Boko or if they're different Bokos.
Let's offer her a shirt.
And at this point, Alistair kind of moves forward through you all to the edge. Please, be careful. Don't crowd her. Tisa, these are friends. They've just come to talk with you. I'm sure you all may have some questions for her. I can help. And at this point, he takes a moment to go to cast a spell, and all of you kind of instinctually go, wait, and then realize that you're not in the Mournland anymore as he casts Calm Emotions over her.
Accurate.
Eye twitches.
But yeah, so he casts Calm Emotions. She's awake, alert, if you all have anything that you would like to ask, but she is young, and so you're not sure how much you can get out of her.
About how old is she?
She's about 6 or 7, it looks like.
Boko will just ask her the first question. He'll say, Young, what is your name?
It's hard to remember. I remember being called Tisa. But I don't think that was my name. You look familiar. Do I know you?
We recently met. I am a friend. Are you hungry?
She kind of looks with worried eyes over at Alistair. She's tried to eat some and hasn't been able to keep it down yet. We're still giving her fluids, but hard food is difficult.
Understood. You have said that it is difficult for you to remember. What do you remember?
Boko, give me a persuasion check here. And if anyone would like to roll an insight as well, they can.
I would like to flash of genius that if possible.
Sure.
I'm gonna crouch down low and kind of get on her level. And
that's a fail. I'm going to use encouraging words on Boko. So his next ability check will get +4.
And my flash of genius is now worth 7.
Ooh. What?
How? Wait, how?
What happens when you die?
What happens when you die repeatedly?
I mean,
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We just hit level 8 as well. It's perfect timing.
So I'll say with that, then, Clyde, I don't think you can use encouraging words because I think 15 is enough to consider this at least a partial success.
Good enough.
For Jasira and Roland, you both see that there is a bit, more than a bit, there is a considerable amount of fear in this girl's eyes, and she immediately turns towards Alistair to try and gain some semblance of safety and security. Clearly he's been working with her and talking with her some. But there's this moment where Boko kind of leans down to talk to her and just kind of gives a nod and a smile, and there's something disarming about him. And she kind of takes a breath. It's really scary. Yeah, I've had lots of nightmares and bad dreams about lots of people getting hurt. I remember being sick and an angel coming by and helping me. She made me feel happy. And I remember feeling really, really warm, really hot. That's what I try to think about. But the other stuff is there too.
Boko's gonna flash a look to Alistair. And see if now would be a good time to tell her about that angelic figure.
Alistair kind of looks at you and... Tisa, before these people can help you, and they have much that they likely want to talk to you, but I suggest, and you can see he's talking to Tisa, but he's really talking to you all. I suggest that we give you information slowly so that your body can accommodate and your mind. We'll have a few more questions and information, and then I think it'll be best if you rest and perhaps they can come and see you again. She kind of like nods softly. Okay. Boko, if you have something you'd like to share with her, you may, but be cautious.
Only one thing. Tisa, the woman that made you feel warm. I knew her. She was our mother.
Wait, so are you like a big brother?
That is for you to decide.
Oh, okay. I used to want to have siblings, I think. Is that why I remember you? Were you my older brother?
We grew up together for a brief time.
So you remember the angel too then? She's real?
She is real.
You can see her kind of smile, and the kind of weight of a child who's in recovery in a hospital brightens a little bit with a little bit of warmth and radiance.
Tisa, there are a great many things that have gone on since you have been asleep. I spend a lot of my time here working. If you have any questions, you can always come find me.
She like looks back between you and Alistair, kind of back to you. Okay, Mr. Alistair, can you help me find Mr. Boko if I need it? Alistair kind of nods with a smile and a chuckle. Yes, child, we can certainly do that. I visited him just last night. And she kind of smiles. I'll think about it. I'll write up some questions.
And as painful as it may be, anything you remember about before or after the woman, that would be greatly appreciated.
You can see that kind of smile dims a little bit, and she kind of lays back into her pillow. Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you, Tisa.
Thanks, Boko. And she kind of looks at everybody else. I don't know your names, but I'm Tisa. It's good to see you. You guys look cool.
I ain't even put my tight pants on yet.
Jasira tries to give her the nicest little smile and a small wave.
We all Boko's friends. I'm Clyde. That there's Jasira. Tall and broody here's Roland. Big hefty here's Theschault. Did
Nice to meet you.
did Rhea and everybody else come too,
Yeah.
Renny?
Yeah, Ray and Renny, and I think everybody would have come to see the kid awake, at least for the first time.
Rhea has to stand on tiptoes to
I was
wave
gonna
high.
say, we've got like 8 people in this hospital room. No wonder this child's a little awkward right now.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Most of us don't bite.
Boko's gonna flash a mean look to Clyde.
Clyde's gonna give
Boko,
big shit-eating toothy grin.
Boko will turn to Tisa and he'll say, "We all live in this city. The things that you remember, they cannot reach you here. We will not allow it. You are safe."
Okay. Thank you. Thanks. And she just kind of nods. You all kind of take this moment, this bit of joy about seeing a life that you had saved, and head out of the hospice. With spirits high, Clyde kind of escorts you all to his favorite cafe.
Oh yeah.
You all remember coming to the Flambe Firebird once before, and upon entering, you all see this small, awkward little halfling with a bustle of curly red hair that you remember. But this time there's a bit of elegance to him as he walks by and kind of comes in, and you don't see the recognition immediately on his face, but Walden, the waiter, comes by and, oh, hi, can I get you all a seat?
That would be wonderful, Walden. We're just recently back in town.
Oh, nice to see you again, Clyde. Cece will be right over with Sia. And he kind of escorts you all to your seats and quickly has drinks set out, and this kind of clumsy person has seemed to come along well. And as he kind of goes off, you see this older woman, older than he is, maybe kind of mid-30s or so, and she kind of comes by and kind of gives him a few pointers, just, Walden, make sure you do this, and kind of gives a few whispers before she comes over towards your table and flashes a smile over towards Clyde. Clyde, so good to see you. Welcome back. Your usual Sia's been waiting to get in her practice for the morning.
I would love my usual. It's very good to be back. Much better than where I was.
Well, it's hard to beat the Firebird. And for the rest of you, what types of food or beverage are you feeling today?
Ooh. Don't they do like a dragon creme brulee here?
Yes.
Or something?
They have, they kind of specialize in various types of flambe and have pseudo dragons that come out and blazon the different dishes.
I want that.
And short before long, Walden has brought you all this various kind of tray of different types of it's almost like fondue that has been lit up on some of them. And so you've got kind of various cheese pots, you've got kind of dessert pots, and then in the center is this massive kind of boiling it's almost like a wooden trough that Sia, the small pseudo dragon on Cece's arm, has lit aflame, and inside of it various skewers of meat kind of grill up in between various vegetables and other spices and things like that. And Clyde and whoever else had requested it, there is a special type of flambe dish, a mix of cheese and potatoes and meats, all with a creamy layer glazed on top from the flame of the dragons.
Ooh, yum.
Damn, now I'm hungry.
That's what I was thinking. There's a reason why I goes here.
Yeah.
But yes, in this elegant location high upon one of the larger buildings in the district, you all are feasting. It's kind of a nice early afternoon time. It's kind of dying down from the brunch crowd. And you all kind of talk among yourselves, kind of sharing different thoughts or ideas as Roland and Boko kind of bring up this idea of having some sort of name, and different ideas are toyed around. And the questions start to come up that none of you have really heard of the Ascendants. You know, it's some sort of celebration from the way people are talking about and preparing and all the feasting and festivities that are going on. But what specifically it is, aren't familiar.
That's a good point, actually.
When
Even the folks who have
CC
been in the city
comes
for a
with
few
our
years?
order, Clyde would like to get into a discussion with her and try and ask her about it.
Roland, I'll say, if you want to roll me a history check, you can.
Or like Theschault.
Yeah, what's that one? I don't know anything about this.
Theschault would likely not. I'd say if you want to roll me a history check at disadvantage, you could.
No, okay.
As Theschault has a lot more experience in other places in Karnath.
Yeah.
And this is not the most popular festivity in those other places.
Oh, shoot, okay.
Okay.
Maybe I heard like
Ooh.
means something.
No. The Schultz knows how to party.
I mean, yeah. Just I never went. It's like
And
Actually,
Roland hangs out in the
Roland does
library.
not. Roland is.
Roland knows history. He knows all of the information that is old. Whatever this is, it's not old. And Theschault, in his younger years, did know how to party. And Reckonmark is actually right on the border of Karnath and Thrain. And in Thrain, this is a very big deal. And Theschault, probably with a few of his friends, definitely made the trip across the large bridge to go and celebrate the Ascendants on the other side. The Ascendants is a religious holiday for the Church of the Silver Flame. This is a religion that began at the very end of the last war and celebrates the power of divinity in individuals rather than any type of deity. And Karlakton has not taken to that religion as much, while Thrain has almost completely been indoctrinated. And the Silver Flame is quickly spreading in different pockets across the various nations and starting to compete with the Sovereign Host as one of the leading religions in the area. But it is the event, the Ascension, is kind of holds a particular point, as it's kind of the official formal start of the religion. And so all of those who abide by that religion celebrate it as not really a holy day, but just a day of general celebration. Again, because it's not for a particular divinity or giving thanks to those divinity, but rather celebrating life and the individual and the power of community. And so it's a very community-based celebration. And in Karlakton in particular, Karlakton has many different places to worship and celebrate many different religions, and the presence of the Silver Flame has been steadily growing over the last few years. And so that while it's relatively recent, the festivities are growing and growing each year. And kind of over the last year, they started this activity of kind of continuing on from the autumn equinox straight into the Ascension. And even those who are not followers now start to celebrate and participate in at least the day of festivities.
So we have a pirate war, we have technological war, and now we have holy war.
And the Holy War.
Deus vote.
I think the Holy War was subtext.
There's not much active aggression between them. As part of the end of the last war, a lot of potential things that could cause instability were kind of agreed upon that we're going to let everything have a place. But yeah, especially in other cities of Karlakton, they're much more tradition based than they are ready to adapt to anything new.
So they're not at war yet.
I wouldn't say they're at war. It's more like a
Unfriendly rivalry.
yeah, it's like the underhanded remarks that people share to different religions now of like sometimes they're totally friendly and just jokes, sometimes the jokes go too far, sometimes they're active like aggression. There is the full gambit, but as far as the leadership of these organizations, they have no beef with each other. No public beef, I guess.
No public beef.
But are they allowed to have pork?
It's shellfish that you have to worry about, bro.
You're not aware of any dietary restrictions. But then again, you rolled a 12.
Rip.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that one would be religion.
Oh, goodness. The Silver Flame has no dietary restrictions. You've heard rumors that a lot of people in Karnath are vampires and just drink the blood of mortals, so.
I believe it.
Now he's like, I got a 28. Is he serious or is he joking?
That 28 unlocked
roll
up
for doubt.
quest.
How did the vampires feel about like linen cloth though?
Swaddles them at night in their silky beds. So with the city at your all's fingertips, is there any type of work effort or any type of individuals that you'd like to see in the city, or anything that you would like to start working on either as an individual or as a group?
I think while we're around this breakfast table, we need to actually like hash out a few names.
That's fair.
Have some brainstorming, because otherwise
why
we're gonna
not?
get to next session and you're gonna be like, "Hey guys, what's your name?"
We're
We're
gonna
gonna go.
say, 2 years later.
We were
2
supposed to
years
talk
later,
about
we're
that,
gonna
weren't we?
finally name the party, huh?
Yeah. When did we make a sub thread for that? How long ago?
There's a sub thread.
Yeah, there is.
It's
You
way-
started it.
I did it.
Yeah, you
Last
started
active over
it.
30 days ago. February
What if
4th
we were- what if we
year
were to name
of 2024.
ourselves- No,
Oh
hear
my
me out.
god.
What if there was like a religious service for somebody who had died? What if we used that as a name?
You mean like a requiem?
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
There are multiple
We
of
could
you
be-
who
we could be-
already know that is taken.
We can be the wake.
The way.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Let's see what some of these things in the group name are. Sky Hentai.
Of course. Of course.
There was a phase.
The Eyes Have It. The space here is very important. Sky Space Walkers. Very unusual suspects.
The very unusual suspects.
That one is kind of funny.
Okay, I just went into a random adventuring group name generator, and I gotta say, 6 goats and a battle axe goes hard.
Oh my god.
Cascade. Pondery Crew, Seventh Eye. Fitting because the party has an odd number of eyes.
There's 7 of you now.
Yeah.
We just need to poke out a few eyes.
An eye for an eye makes our fucking name make sense.
I mean, Seventh Eye's not bad. I like that.
Random acts of
Eyes.
violence or rave. Beowulf. A series of unfortunate steam vents.
That's a good one.
Artificers incorporated and incorporeal.
That's even more applicative now that we have an incorporeal arm.
Wait, that actually works really well.
You heard of AI? This is AII. Extra eyes.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Eye trauma. Boats.
All right, what are some of our accomplishments here? We broke out of a high security pirate prison.
Yeah, if only there were, a group made entirely of people who had broken out of a high security pirate prison.
What else have we done that's been pretty crazy? We were abducted by sky invaders.
Here's one. Toss an eye to your sniper.
When do we get the artificer eye that we can toss between the party to get bonuses?
You could
I
try
mean,
it with
technically, I have an
Boko.
eye patch that could do that.
That's not the same thing. It's got to be like the like in Hercules, just poke.
Oh yeah, the fates.
Yes,
That would be Boko's current eyes.
Fair.
it's got extras too.
I should put a line in that magic item that it only works as a set.
The circle. Specifically referring to.
Does it only work while they're attached?
One way to find out.
Like, what if we really want to watch the door? Like, while we're somewhere else? We could either cast, like, a 3rd level spell, or we could pull Boko's eye out.
So
and
I
then
plugged
Boko
in a
ends
bunch
up
of
going
our-
through.
I plugged in a bunch of our accomplishments into GPT.
Oh
yeah.
It says
no.
a mix of steampunk vibes, machine apocalypse survival, and a group always pushing forward. The Iron Horizon.
Iron
Horizon.
Kind of sick.
That goes pretty hard.
Alright, if we're naming ourselves the Iron Horizon, I'm trading out the fucking accordion for guitar.
That is a heck of a metal name. Metal
Like,
band name.
this is gonna become Dragon Force 2. Like, what?
Iron Horizon. Actually, I like that a lot. Actually,
That slaps.
That goes pretty hard, huh?
It does. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Clyde, do you know how to play guitar yet?
I'm down.
Clyde will definitely. He can play the fiddle. It's close enough.
Alright, we're doing this. Dual guitars. We are a power metal band now.
Oh no,
The
Clyde will
Iron
play the
Horizon.
horn.
Our first hit single is A Song of Soul and Steam.
Oh,
You guys think I'm joking? Like, I will write, like, absolutely goofy ass fucking.
let's upgrade Theschault until he's a pipe organ.
Interesting choice.
Somebody give Clyde a trumpet and we can be a ska band.
Ska's not dead, bro.
Oh, why not?
Clyde's outfit now.
Oh gosh.
The vest. He'll put the tight pants on.
Yeah, your cheeks will be our percussion section.
We wait for the day. The lights are
Oh, it's
so
fucking
wasted and gone.
Iron Horizon is solid.
No, it's good. It's the best I've heard so far.
Hey.
Except for 6 goats and the battle axe. I'm sorry.
I thought
Wait,
Seventh Eye
was
was
it-
sick, but it's on the shop.
Yeah.
And the circle was pretty cool too.
I think Seventh Eye works better for a shop.
Hey,
Curiosity
yeah,
shop.
we need fucking flyers to go around all over the place. Hey, why don't you stop by the Seventh Eye of the Iron Horizon? Okay.
I feel like we need to run a cult in the back room, just so it's at least it's official sounding, then.
Open your seventh eye.
I'm sure Mommy Blades would love to come officiate the cult.
What was that, Joe?
I've heard that 7 is an important number in some instances.
Just occasionally.
Especially in an orgy.
Okay.
We're back in
Roland
the.
read about it in a book.
We're back in the islands, guys.
Yeah, yep. Back on Green Tarn.
Damn.
Because you really don't want to be the 7th person in an orgy.
What?
I don't want to go down that trail. I just don't want to go down that trail.
Roland's inviting you along for something.
Ye-
Go on.
I'm just, I was going to move on with something, and then I was just thinking of a waiter stumbling into the group and just hearing that in just out of context in the name discussion, and just like, so do you all have any plans for the Ascendants? Just Cece looking
Yes.
at you all real confused.
Give us your shirt.
Nope, down, Roland.
I already count 7, so I'm hoping I'm okay.
Depends on the order in which you count.
She just kind of gives you finger guns.
All right. Iron Horizon is a leading contender.
I want some fucking creme brulee.
Yeah, you guys enjoy the wonderful food. And
Clyde's been thinking about it for like a week and a half since he's been gone.
yeah,
And
it's
also, Clyde
incredible.
is almost plastered the entire time he's been back. He's right at the edge.
Roll me a
in that
con
sweet
save.
spot.
Absolutely.
Do electric guitars exist?
They're
We
about
have-
We
to.
can absolutely
We have
make some.
2.25 artificers in the party. We can invent them.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
Yeah,
good.
you're right on the edge, Clyde. So I'll say, Renny, you would definitely know this as being within the city. There are many bards, and in Carlacton, not only is it a home to artifice, but it's also home to one of the biggest bardic colleges in the world. And they have certainly found ways to amplify natural instruments.
And they didn't invite Lucius.
Battle of the Band's coming up to earn our
Alright.
equipment.
What are you talking about, David? Lucius was part of the Harpers.
Alright. Theschault.
They didn't ask him to be a professor.
Is there legitimately any chance we can put a speaker in your suit?
And a pipe organ.
Like an amplifier.
We could do something like that, yeah.
Alright, I'm switching
We're just gonna have the Steam Smith holding up a boom bomb.
Yep.
Boombox pole drums.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh. Boombox with a halfling on top of the boombox.
Noise-based combat actually works well, right?
I mean, I don't see why not.
Let's do this. Let's fucking do this, boys.
Oh,
We're gonna have some fun
my.
stuff for our next downtime.
Our neighbors at the 7th Eye are gonna hate us. Jamming in the backyard.
Gotta be alright.
I love the idea of just a noise-based artificer paladin and this giant mech suit just announcing that he's here with 2 bards blasting music through it.
I mean, if you don't think that falls into my character, it's you got nothing coming because it definitely does.
If
Like,
that-
it's pyrotechnics in the back, so fire's going off in the background.
If it's not the cover of the Iron Horizon heavy metal album, I don't know what is.
Mhm.
We are walking disadvantaged to stealth.
Oh, I was already that.
Bad rogue noises.
My bad.
So is Roland gonna play bass?
Roland is too coherent of an individual to be the bassist.
Kind of funny.
What would Roland play?
It's the gun.
The gun. Probably run the pyrotechnics.
Alright, this adventuring business, like, do we really need to do this to make money or can we go on
We
tour?
had a
Yeah, let's just go on
bad
tour.
couple weeks.
Let's just go on tour.
This is the city of possibilities. Y'all get some time to pursue crazy adventures if you want.
Let's see if we can make it work, guys.
We're getting the fucking band back together! We can't be stopped. We're on a mission from God.
I'm watching a little piece of Austin die with every sentence.
I support this 100%. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're gonna open for the ascendancy.
That's
Might
the
not be a bad
announcement.
Yeah, might not be a bad way to get the ends with some spots.
No, wait. I figured it out. What Roland would do. Since he can change shape and look like anyone in the party, if anyone is out sick, he just takes their spot.
Different parts of the song you just change.
Yeah.
They'll know it's not me on the guitar.
It's all recorded.
I, like the Chili Peppers, require to be playing live music at the show.
Alright, what we'll do is both parts will take Magic Mouth next level, and we'll just open a book.
If this isn't proper adventuring, I don't know what is.
Hey, one of us died like 6 days ago.
And
I mean-
12 days ago.
We're gonna do hot single Dead Man's Grit. Look forward to it.
Ooh.
My stead still walking. Boko gets to design the band shirt.
And on the B side, Hammer Down.
To design the band shirt. I'm here for it.
See, this is where we need a following that can do fan art.
Throw everything into Midjourney.
Yeah, you mean ChatGPT, sir?
Nah,
No, I mean actual people creating
Yeah.
actual art and not just rehashing what already exists. Great tool in a pinch, but nothing can replace the real thing.
Accurate.
Dude, when we all play, we can all have Selekian mustaches.
Ah, must be nice to grow a mustache.
It's not. It's a pain in the ass, bro.
As I've come to realize this month.
You are keeping that, yes?
I don't know. I have to think about it.
You're about to be an instructor. You're keeping
I-
that.
Oh my-
That's the main reason I'm like,
the
hey, maybe.
instructor
though.
stash.
Yeah, you know.
Oh gosh.
All right. Well, I suppose at some point I ought to check in with Sweetie and see if anything's going on that I need to take care of. And obviously, she'll be aware of the results of our journey. but I'd also like to know if anything is going on around the was it Ranchon estate?
Yeah. I'll say as you kind of drop in to Casual Joe's, everybody there kind of gives you some questioning glances. And when you get to Grelk, he kind of gives you some trouble again for how long it took you to show up. Like you were supposed to be on a job and then you just disappeared for 2 weeks. And then apparently you're in the city and you don't come by and say hi and you just ignore him and move by him. And getting into Sweetie kind of fills you in that things have been relatively quiet. Her eyes haven't seen much coming out of the ranch and estate. It seems to have gone pretty still. There had been a lot of like traffic in and out, and all of that has stopped. And so it's very difficult to get eyes on what's happening inside anymore. But there were people who kind of came out and repaired the gate after the mess that you all had left it in. And
Not my fault.
she again kind of gives you some trouble for disappearing on her. Gives you jokes around about it becoming a trend. But for the most part seems to be in high enough spirits. Kind of hearing some of the tales of your travels.
Oh yeah, I'll joke right back of essentially, would you love me if I didn't know how to disappear?
How can you miss me if I don't go away?
But she does make one kind of comment to you as you guys are there, and just listen, Rolly, there's some business going on, you know. I know you got your own stuff. I know we talked about some jobs for your friends. If they still want to look for some jobs, we'll find them something. But right now, things are getting a little quiet. You know, we've made enough noise that some of the folks are starting to pay attention to us. During the equinox, we made a few deals. We're getting a little bit more legitimate. Things are going well for us. So just be careful, all right? Like, don't go making too much trouble. And if you got to get into trouble, make sure you run it by me first. Or at least by Slim. Somebody. Ozak, somebody. Just check in, all right? Otherwise, keep your head low. Enjoy the festivities. Relax, you know? And then before long, things will be a lot better. And, well, I'll just say, there might be a few less players in town.
Sounds like my kind of work.
Oh, don't you worry. We're gonna need you before this all is through. It's gonna be a blast.
My specialty. I'll try to relax, but I've generally found that whenever I let my guard down, something bad happens.
Well, who said anything about letting your guard down? You do that, you're dead. I just told you to relax a little bit, you know, cut loose. I don't know what you get into on your side. If you prefer a couple lady goblins show up at your door, you just let me know. But otherwise...
Good for Roland.
Ah. You know you're the only goblin for me.
Well, I'm more expensive than you can afford, buddy. It's nice seeing you, Rolly. I'm glad you're not dead. Next time you get back in town, you come see me so I know. I don't like finding these things out from eyes and ears.
Yes, ma'am.
For the rest of you within the city, is there any business that you have to attend to?
None aside from what I'd already messaged you.
Okay. So I'll say as the day gets on, towards probably about the evening meal time, eventually Alistair kind of comes back around and knocks on the door again. You let him in. He's sharing some food, some drinks, some stories. Gives you an update that Tisa's doing well. You can come back and see her the next day if you'd like. And then kind of turns the conversation. Now, I mentioned to you before this upcoming ascendance. The celebration is all over, but there is a particular event where I'd like to have you all announced, where you will be announced to whatever degree you're comfortable with. There is a gala and masquerade that is thrown at one of the larger institutes in town. It's tomorrow evening. Are you all able to make an appearance? If possible, we'd love to bring you upon stage, and it's quite the rousing event. Lots of good faces, people to meet, connections to make, and on top of that, music, poetry, lots of things to get lost into.
Oh, give me a reason to break out my tight pants.
Yes, it is. It is indeed a formal affair. Not only that, but a masquerade. So you'll have to determine what level of costume you find to be appropriate.
Ah, this ought to be a fun one then.
So you all are interested, yes? You're willing to come?
Sounds like it'd be a good time.
Marvelous, marvelous. I may have already promised that you'd make an appearance. I apologize. But, this is really good publicity for the hospice. We are often not the, well, it's not often that we get talked about, and when we do, it's often not the good kind of talked about. I think what you all did was incredible, and I'd like to make sure that you get credit, but I would like for people to be able to trust our facilities, know the good that we do for the city. This is a very important event for us as well.
Do we need to dress up?
Yes.
That's why I'm putting the tight leather pants on. Ooh, can we go shopping?
It's a formal...
Do we even have money?
Don't worry, I got money. We good.
It's a formal gala and masquerade, and so formal attire with some sort of costume that it doesn't have to obscure your entire face, but some sort of mask component is highly encouraged.
Jasira offers up her mask. Can I wear this?
Certainly. Though I do have to admit, part of the night's festivities is a game of trying to see who you can guess, and your mask may be distinct to some. We, of course, at the hospice know you. I'm not sure how well you're known within the city itself, but it could be something to consider. And if you don't care about the game, then it's all in fun, but just wanted to make sure you were aware.
I'll make a new one.
We'll have ourselves a good time. It did occur to me, all of you haven't actually been to a masquerade, now that I think about it. Have any of you been to one? Besides myself.
I've been to parties where you didn't show your face.
Well, sure. Wait a second.
Clyde?
It's not
So
that
you're
kind of fun.
you're telling me that
How
one of the
drunk
things
were
that
you?
rich people do for
A
fun
little more than
is
that.
pretend to be thieves.
Not thieves, more of an air of mystique. Not knowing exactly what lies behind the mask.
To be honest,
Is Roland offended?
I've heard of many, a rich nobleman wanting to get kicks on the town in many ways. Them impersonating thieves as opposed to turning into actual thieves is much preferred.
How many of you all have been to a formal party, as it were? We're going to have a lot of work to do, is what I'm hearing.
A resounding none.
There's a lot that goes into this, all of you know.
It's like, I think I broke into one because they had open bar that one time.
Oh my god.
I mean, some of the
It is
parties
very
back home,
clear-
they had a 10-foot tall bonfire, so those were pretty formal.
Yeah.
Ponder for a second.
Yeah, it's pretty clear after Jasira said she's going to make her own mask. She just kind of checked out the conversation, started brainstorming ideas.
I have to warn you, Alistair says, you will the festivities from the equinox are much more rambunctious and lively. Even the ascendance.
See, I think I do know this type of party.
Even the ascendance itself
It's the
has
type
many.
that you and I broke into that one time. Okay. Oh.
Yes, the ascendance itself has many different types of festivities, but the gala is one that is more formal. So please do try and be on your best behavior. Again, it would go a long way for the hospice to set a good standard at that event.
Oh, don't worry, I won't cause any trouble.
Don't wear my tight pants. They take too long to take off.
Don't you worry, my good man. We'll make sure that everybody is fitting for this excursion we have here.
Right.
I mean, the last one I was at, I spent most of the time hiding in a bush.
We will.
Clyde just starts laughing when he says that.
Hospice, I assure you, to a very high confidence. That is not quite 100, but is high.
I'm up to no good.
Mid to high 90%.
She knows she is up to no good.
Anyway, important question. Open bar?
Of course, it is for the finest.
Oh, it's gonna
nobles.
be a good time.
Low 90%. Slight adjustments.
Alistair bids you all good night with good smiles around.
Like reservations.
Yeah. Just a well.
Probably like, shit.
I will see you all tomorrow evening. Invitation should arrive upon the morn for you, with details. If you need any suggestions for places to find formal wear or costumes, please feel free to let us know. But it seems you all are acquainted enough with the city to know the shopping districts. The market in the center of the city is the best location. There's a bit of everything there. You'll be fine. We'll see you tomorrow. And he bids you all good night.
Okay.
Roland, you're kind of walking out with him. You and Boko, and kind of get to the door, and something kind of catches your eye. And you turn to look, and you see a figure kind of waving to you. And you were gonna ignore it just as someone friendly. And there's a pang of recognition. The figure kind of walks closer to you, and you can see this slender man, kind of shaved sides of his head.
Slender man?
Lean man.
Slender man?
But he's got this kind of long, elegant brown coat on, kind of extends down past, down almost to his knees, but on behind him. The sides of his head are shaved, and he's kind of got this hair that kind of flops over to one side. He's a young guy, but he's got kind of this wicked grin, and you have this flashback. You remember being on the estate, seen next to Galrath, next to the ship cleaver, this man. This is Zane. And he kind of smiles as he comes up to you. And he looks over, and you can see walking down the street in one direction a pair of guards. You can see walking down another small family. There's people around. Nice seeing you. Good place you got set up here. Any goods worth checking out? I like to make my rounds, see all the new businesses. Especially if they've got, trinkets, pawns from places of interest. Lots of adventurers set up here. Lots of famous names, I'm sure you're aware. Seventh Eye is a pretty good name. The wares inside, are they the quality of the name?
We leave that to your judgment.
Well, be sure to come and check it out sometime during business hours.
We'll do that.
What time do you guys all open?
When we feel like it.
Adventure through and through. I understand. Be seeing you, Roland. Turns and walks away.
Let's go over to Roland. That seems like a rather strange customer.
Probably trouble.
That's why I figured I'd let you handle that one.
I'm trying to remember with Zane, what interaction did I have with him?
Zane was one of the individuals that seemed to be called out by Galreth, one of his like lieutenants that was there. You remember seeing some sort of woman in this white dress. The ship cleaver and Zane were kind of the three up with Galreth that kind of led things. And Zane was one of the ones that was kind of I can't remember if he was one of the ones who chased you out or one of the ones who responded to the carriage incidents, but you had seen him kind of responding to the chaos of the interactions on the estate grounds.
So how does he know me?
He shouldn't.
You were in disguise.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. There's like this tingle down your spine as you remember talking to Sweetie, as you remember talking to Boko, wondering exactly how long this peace would last, and part of you feels like it might have just ended. Because you have no clue how he has this information, but you were very careful. Very careful.
Never even wore my own face.
And you've been gone for weeks. This is concerning, to say the least.
I'll go talk to Sweetie about it in the morning.
As you all begin to lay down for the evening, come to this evening's rest, we do go briefly over to Jasira. Jasira, you're working on your next knitting project, kind of crossing yarn back and forth. And you feel this soft warmth as you start to get tired, and eventually the kind of monotonous movement of these knitting needles, you just kind of close your eyes and lean back. Your hands almost kind of continue to work on their own as you enter this trance, but this darkness kind of surrounds you. And that warm, comfortable feeling comes up, and suddenly there is a flash of gold, a lightning strike of light and color. There is this inky black fluid at your feet. These various bioluminescent colors on your peripheral vision. This feeling of rushing, of running, of movement. You remember being back in Mabar, the deadliness of it all, the constant anxiety of just existing. You see that shade of black with the golden mask, that gilded man that brought you from it all and brought you right to Galrath himself. That heat, that intensity, it turns from comfort to anger. You see him. He's right in front of you. How is Jasira responding?
So just to make sure I understand, she's in this kind of weird, inky, dark area with bioluminescence. I'm assuming she's standing, and across from her some distance is the Gilded Man, correct?
Yeah, he's like maybe 10 feet in front of you. Like you feel like you could reach out and move and touch him.
Where is she?
You look around and you don't recognize this place. It's shadows. It's strange and uncomfortable, and you remember moving through shadows when you had exited Mabar, this kind of blurring of darkness, moving away from the lights of Mabar as you prepared to enter whatever this place is that you are now, that time that the Gilded Man had escorted you through and out, your perceived escape. You remember once thinking that the golden mask was a sign of salvation, and now it's changed entirely. But it feels distant. Everything around you feels far away except for him.
She speaks up again. What do you want from me?
The man who had kind of been...
Where is Tove?
The Gilded Man who had kind of been leading you kind of turns to fully face you. Just takes out a finger, places it on his lips, and turns once more, pulling you further into the shadow.
Is she able to resist?
You can try.
Why not?
Go ahead and give me either a strength or constitution saving throw.
Well, that makes that a very easy decision. We'll go for a strength. I love that. That's good.
You pull and tear as you rip into the darkness, and you feel whatever hand or arm you were holding on get dislodged and torn away. You stand there just radiating fury. And that golden mask looks back, the cloak of darkness that he wears obscuring if he even has any limbs, much less the one you just tore off.
I'm going to say it one more time. Where is Tove?
These whispers start to just creep up into your mind. These echoes from so far away. These echoes just, they're nonsense. They're whispers. They're screams. You feel just this pit in your stomach as you're looking at this figure, just unmoving, unspeaking, unwilling to acknowledge you.
If you will not help, you do not deserve a second more of my time. And she will do whatever she can to kind of snap out of it, wake up, resist harder.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Okay.
Knuckle pop.
The whispers continue to get louder and louder and louder, just you cannot save her. She is mine. As you break into the darkness, flying through that intensity, pushing you in and out of this vision, the last echo that you hear. And so are you. Jasira, you come to laying naked in a street somewhere, sometime in the city. The light is still dark. You don't know where you are or what happened. And that's where we'll go ahead and pick up next week.
Oof.
Ooh.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.